So that's maybe after his speech, we just excuse him.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. I call this house to order. Hello, welcome to quarterfinals of HEP-IPTS. Congratulations for making it this far. On the motion, this house support the decline of themes centered on violence in rap. On government, we have IMU 18. Opposition, we have APU 8. Without further ado, I call upon the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And my name is Kudzai Pio. I'm the Prime Minister for the government side. I will give you the setup and the layout of our debate, and I will present to you my team's case, and I will also give you 3 of my team's arguments. The Deputy Prime Minister will come and elaborate on most of our points and then rebut a few points, and our whip will mostly do the rebuttals. So firstly, allow me to define a few key terms. To decline is to become fewer or lesser. Themes are subjects of talk. Centered means the vocal element. Violence is a physical force intended to hurt or damage or kill. Rap is rhythm or poetry. So the redefined statements read that this house supports the decrease of themes focused on the intention of hurting or damaging in rhythm or poetry. Now, our debate is going to be centered on the fact or argument that there has been a decrease in the violence in rap and in rap music and also poetry. And we have set the parameter to the United States of America. So our team's position stands on the basis that our debate, you need to realize that from the word go, the violence in rap was a result of discrimination in race and culture. So that is where it emanated from. And because the rate of sorry, I'll take it later. The rate of discrimination has decreased in the world. Also, the violence has also decreased. And we need to realize that poetry is expression. I'll take pure eyes at my own discretion. We need to realize that poetry is an expression of feelings and ideas that are used in style and rhythm. So for people to express their feelings, it has to emanate from something that they're experiencing at that moment. And we will realize that I will take pure eyes at my own discretion. We need to realize that the environment that people are now living in is less crime. That means that the feelings of aggression that they have towards the world have also decreased.
Is there any form of link that shows that declination in violence in rap has actually led or stopped to discrimination of African Americans?
I did not say that. Now you're twisting what I said. I did not say that because there's been a decrease in rap, there's been a decrease in violence. Actually, it's the opposite. Because there's less violence and less discrimination of people, because people are now more educated, they do not discriminate as much as before. That is why the violence in rap, people do not need to vent out in rap, poetry, or music about the feelings of aggression that they are feeling. It's actually the opposite of what you're saying. Please listen carefully to what I'm saying. So for my team's arguments, firstly, most people in rap music are now focusing on power and money and women and sex, because in the United States, you need to realize that that's the environment that they now live in. Society shapes how you think, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot deny that fact. And the society that people in the United States live in has centered things around power, amassing power and wealth and money and women. So even rappers now sing mostly about money and sex and women.
Okay.
Take it.
Right. So if you say there's been a decrease in discrimination, was it justified when they were really being discriminated?
Sorry, can you repeat?
So if you say there's been a decrease in discrimination, was the violence justified at that point where they were really being discriminated?
Ladies and gentlemen, our debate is not about whether violence is okay or not okay. We are debating on the fact that violence has decreased in rap. Okay, so that's besides the point. And then ladies and gentlemen, we need to realize that people are no longer attracted to violence. People are no longer paying attention to violence. So even rappers who concentrate on violence will not make money, usually don't become successful. The most successful rappers in rap music right now, like Drake and Jay-Z, you realize that most of their songs have got nothing to do with violence. Most of their songs are based on what I have already specified, money, sex, and women. For example, Drake's hit on Hotline Bling, it had nothing to do about violence. Jay-Z released another song about I Got the Keys. It had nothing to do with violence, ladies and gentlemen. And also, secondly, we need to realize that because there's less discrimination and less violence, rap is now more inclusive of women who are less violent. So how can you claim that it hasn't decreased when it's now accommodating more people than before? People who were being violated before are now even part of the rap. And for example, Nicki Minaj won 11 BET awards. 11 BET awards, whereas before people were actually standing and there were women marching in the streets. There was a lot of violence based on genocide. Thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring you to the point that people are more educated nowadays. They do not just follow from poetry. They do not just follow from the music that they hear. You need to realize that people now have people have a reasoning capacity. They are more learned, so they can judge more, and they can reason to say, okay, this is right and this is wrong. You can't just say just because someone heard a song on the radio that had violent lyrics, now they're going to go and kill someone. That does not make sense in this generation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to raise my case.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for that speech. Let's call for the LO. Here. Sorry. I don't think so.
You don't want to.
I don't think so.
You don't want it.
We hate the popo. They want to kill us all in the streets. Now, that line came from Kendrick Lamar, all right. It's about black oppression that they are faced in America. And I don't know why the government side is saying that we're all living in a fantasy land where everything is butterflies and rainbow, and there is not much violence in America itself. There's no oppression to the black people. I mean, come on, look at the news. Black Lives Matter. Have you even seen the recent news and why they march behind that banner? Why they are chanting, or should I say singing the song All Right from Kendrick Lamar about police brutality, about the systematic oppression that black people face in America, about the discrimination, about the unfairness within their social system. You have to take all these things into account, and then that's why rap exists, that's why violence exists. Now, that's why there's violence in rap, and that's why we support violence in rap. Now, this motion It's about whether we should support or not support violence in rap. It's not about stating the fact that okay, there is lesser violence in society, and there's like the violence in society is declining and other things. It's like they've been just telling us like okay, just giving us facts that there is a decline in violence in society, but they never give us the impact of this decline of violence. They never give us the impact of the declining violence within rap has towards society. Those are really important matters that the government didn't look into. All they would just come out here and just giving us a fact about things that are going on that we all, most of us already know. Now, before we move on, I'd like to give a few rebuttals on the government's case. Rate of discrimination has increased. Excuse my language, but that is bullshit. I mean, like, come on, like all the lists that I just said, why black people, like black community, always bound together and always try to make their voice heard in America? That means they're still being discriminated. Have you ever heard of police killing unarmed black people? Yeah, police, American police brutality. This is like one of the worst things that affect black people in America. And you're telling me that discrimination has decreased? No way, right? And less crime in society. I mean, like without violence in the rap song, it doesn't necessarily mean that there will be less crime in society. There is no like direct impact or direct link. If there is, the government needs to draw us a significant link and make us like prove to us that if the decrease in violence in rap will lead to a decrease in crime in society. Because for now, we all don't see any link. There is still crime running rampant in America, and yeah. Now moving forward, rap, they say rap nowadays is singing about money, power, women, sex, weed, and they think it's a good thing. I mean, why is this a good thing? This is just this is worse than violence. If you're singing about violence, at least you're talking about a problem that society is facing. But this one, they're just singing about money, power, and like all artificial things that we want to go after, or objectifying women. As we all know in rap music nowadays, women are just a sexual object for men to have pleasure with. Know that black women are just nothing than their toys in music. We don't want this thing to happen, so that's why we think that if you decrease the violence, you will encourage objectifying of women. And then why are we fighting women? Why are we fighting for women's rights in the first place? I mean, no, thank you, not that. Now, right, rap don't concentrate on violence. Okay, now they say that rap don't concentrate on violence nowadays, like Drake and then all those people. I mean, they don't sing about violence, but doesn't mean when they go home they don't experience violence. They still go around shooting people, and there is gangs still exist. There is still certain violence with the police, and then most of the time you always hear in the news that certain blah blah rapper black has been stopped by the police because of certain things, whereas a white rapper will never be stopped by the police because they are gentle. But this thing is just moving away from the core values of rap. Now, so when I'm moving on to my arguments, firstly, we think that rap is self-defense. A self-defense to fight against the systematic oppression of black people. Like this rap is a weapon. It's a weapon for these black people. It's my talent. My talent is my weapon. I fight against the oppression. I fight for my right. I'm doing something for my people. This is what rap is about. Even though we're talking about violence, but we think that it's okay because they are just telling about the things that they face in society and giving people a view of how their lives are like. Now, secondly, like I have said, violence will exist. It will not cease with the decrease of violence in rap. Like even if you don't allow people to rap about violence, violence will still exist in society. There's no direct link that says violence will not exist. Even if it's not portrayed, it still exists. It's just like me singing about, telling you about how Malaysia is a clean country, but nobody will believe it because Malaysia has a lot of corruption, right? Yeah, it's the same thing. And then people will still grow up in the streets of Harlem, in the streets of Chicago, faced with, in the ghetto, faced with like violence, faced with gang war, and then like those thugs and other things. Now, one thing I like to point out that rap represents is rap has a historical and sentimental value to people. It's like the oppression that the people face. That's why Straight Out of Compton got famous. It's like how unfair the system is. People banner behind this rap song. People can relate to these rap songs. That's why they will listen to these rap songs. Lastly, if you change the rap song and don't allow them to sing about violence, don't allow them to sing about violence, it'll be just about money and sex, and then like your original followers will not follow it because black people listen to these songs because this is a form of understanding what is going on, in a form of they can relate to this thing, and then they know that this is being brought out. Okay, now for the benefits that rap will bring about, one is it's a form of expression. Secondly, it's a form of entertainment, and thirdly, it's a form of activism. Now, in expression, because to express a systematic expression, there are two forms of rap. One is about the storytelling of like how they grew up and what happened in the hood, and another one is about what is currently happening in society, which what All Right is about. Now, these two things are very important because they sing about violence that the black people face, and we think that it is really important. Now, secondly, entertainment. Entertainment for it to keep it alive, because if it's interesting, people will want to listen it. When it's kept alive, people will more and more, they will increase the exposure to more people to understand that the problems that the black people are facing and people can relate into. Now, lastly, activism. This is a form of social justice. This is a panel that people come out to talk about oppression, talk about discrimination. It's an activism to get more people to banner under them to fight against all this unfair treatment that the black people in America face. With that, I'll take my screen.
Thank you also for that speech. Let's call upon the Deputy Prime Minister. Here.
As the second speaker of the government team, I strongly the themes of violence around rap music. And first, I want to refute some of the points given by the first speaker of the opposition team. He said, "Popos killing us on the street," okay, by Kendrick Lamar. Now he's talking about the situation that he's facing in the street. Does not mean that it's going to instill violence among people by listening to such music. Also, he says that we do not say that it's okay for violence to exist in the music industry or anything. We didn't say it's okay that it's okay to have women being misogynized in the music industry. We're just saying that it is lesser violent than what it used to be in the past, like old school rap music or old school rap music depicted what the violence that they had suffered. The theme has now reduced, it has calmed down, it has become softer than what it used to be. Let me elaborate on that later. Now, rap music is predominantly, as we know, created by African American people. But today, it incorporates different cultures. It's become a globalized music industry, not just in America, not just for black people, culturally and racially. Rap music can be heard by a lot of people from different races around the world. And therefore, we say the theme has now, therefore, the violence within the rap music industry that they're trying to focus on is decline. And that is the main point of our argument. That is that there is a decline in the violence theme in the rap music industry. And I would like to continue my argument by saying that now, first of all, we have to understand blaming rap for social ills defies logic and reasoning. As violence is intentional use of, as my first speaker said, physical force or power, etc., and can be caused by many reasons unrelated to music. Themes specifically centered around rap is based on issues, conflicts, and disputes that conjure up specific emotions, as rap itself is mostly rhythm and poetry. These are themes were related to past struggles that do not define the situation that we are existing in currently. Things have changed. Conflicts have either been resolved or has changed. So that rap, the violence that it used to instill in the past has now reduced in today's era, in the past decade, as I would like to mention. As time goes by, conflicts and issues change, sometimes are resolved, I just mentioned. We cannot relate, now today's generation cannot relate to the aggressiveness of the past struggles of people who used to bring out the violence in their rap music. Today we won't hear of what Tupac used to say. We're not saying there isn't violence, we're just saying they have decreased from what it used to be in the past and what it is now. Please. So again, I reinstate that there is a definite decline in the violence around rap and rap or violent related themes in rap music.
On that, I think the motion already acknowledged that there is a decrease in violence, and we don't dispute that. I think what your side needs to do is give us the justification on why you think this declination is good for rap music on your side of the house.
Okay, we'll say, first of all, we know what violence instills, okay? We are saying that there is a decline in the violence or the theme of violence within the rap music. You are telling me that why it should be good to them. Of course, violence should decrease. It's a good thing that there should be less violence in the rap music we have today. There should be a reason for that. If you're telling me that we should define why it's supposed to be good, we're not talking about why is it good that there's a decrease. We're talking about why there is a decline and that there is a decline in the violence in rap music. So another visible reason for the decline in rap music is that there's a accommodation and integration of female rappers as well. In the past, there were very few female rappers, and now we have many more female rappers that would like to showcase their talents and voice their voice. A lot of the rap music can be related to anything that they feel comfortable with. It does not necessarily have to be as violent as what it was created by in the past. So, and it shows that women and men both have a talent, and that music can now assimilate and bring their voices to their audience. Now, the rap music industry has become more of a commercial industry, okay, to sell. Now, they can't just sell violence like that to anyone, so they will try and avoid such type of information, such type of content in their rap music. In the past, they used to have it because it was a form of aggression, a form of voicing out their thoughts because of the discrimination people face. Nowadays, we don't have that kind of issue as much as we did in the past, so there is definite decline. Now, also, rap themes in the past decade have also evolved to accommodate all different forms of entertainment and satisfaction. So, as you mentioned, we talk about women, we talk about power, we talk about money, but we don't talk about violence that there used to be in the past. The violence which we are saying is a form of power, a form of force, a form of struggle. We're not showing that kind of violence that they used to have because we don't have that kind of violence now existing. Rap music has been sold commercially. If there are issues with violence within the rap music, they are censored by censorship boards. The content is censored. As you say, when they sell the music, they sell explicit versions and then they sell the censored versions to people. So that obviously, that will obviously decrease the cause or influence of violent behavior by the rap music, but also the themes within the rap music then decline. People don't take less interest in saying, okay, so why would you want to listen to things that actually show, hurt, hate, Such things might be underground, but they haven't become predominant as they used to be, like Tupac's Notorious B, all these famous rappers. A lot of them have been also killed because due to violence in their music and the violence they've been facing around the music and the struggle that they've lived. So I would like to say also, around violence and rap in today's music industry. As Mahatma Gandhi said, anger is the enemy of non-violence, and pride is a wonder that solves it.
Good evening, Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister, for that speech. Let's call upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition.